What's good, family? This is Che Willis coming back to you with another episode. Again, still don't have a name for the podcast, but we're going to get to it anyway. So, today we're going to talk about fear. Fear is a big deal, but not just fear, specifically uh, what fear is going to cost you or what fear can cost you in your relationship with fear, and hopefully how to overcome those fear. We all have fear. But my hope is by the end of this video, we'll be able to identify the fear and be able to get over those fears that could be potentially costing you guys money. Reaching your potential and just moving ahead in life. Because again, we're talking about all things growth. I said that in the first video, and that's my hope today is to, you know, tell you how I overcame some things, how my wife and I overcame some things, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to get into it. So my relationship with fear um, started out when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had some learning challenges, and you know, kids are kids, man. Just plain and simple. You have different learning challenges. You maybe answer a question wrong. You might add something wrong, multiply something wrong, read something wrong, whatever the case may be. And what happens? Kids are going to laugh. They're going to make fun of you. But what does that do? What did that do for me? It made me draw back. Um, it made me fearful to speak up. Made me fearful to answer questions. Made me fearful to um, um, just like I said, speak up, man. And I don't know if anybody that's watching this can identify with that, but I'm sure there are some people that can identify with that. Um, but I don't want fear or your fear of standing out hold you back. But I believe what was really going on was the enemy was trying to silence me because I feel like God put a message in my heart to help people. First of all, be good at something um, financially and being able to go through different things financially to then come out on the other side to share those things with people to help them be free from the burden of poverty and lack and things of that nature. Um, so what I want to talk to you guys about is what are the things that are holding you back? What has the enemy put inside of you to make you fearful to live the life that you want to live? So we're going to talk specifically finances. So when I got married for the first 10 years of our marriage, and I told the story before, but I think it bears repeating because I think a lot of people are going through this, but they don't know how to get over the fear of merging finances. So when we got married for the first 10 years of our marriage, we've been married 18, it'll be 18 years in August. We didn't have our monies combined. The reason is because, first of all, it was comfortable. I knew what I did with my money. She knew what she did with her money. And um, it just wasn't good because we're married, we're together, but we're doing things separately. And there's no way that me being the head of my household should have allowed that to happen, but I did because of fear. So I talked to different people in my church. I listened to different podcasts, different sermons, and something clicked with me saying this shouldn't be like you guys are together, you're one, so your finances should be combined. Um, and I came to my wife, and she was like, "Well, I let me see, let me think about it because it's new, you know." So she came back to me a couple days later saying, "Hey, I think we can do this. Let's do it." And we combined our budgets together and we made one. I transferred all of my um, you know, my money into her checking account just to make it easier for her because I wanted to make her as comfortable as possible being able to merge our finances together. So we merged our finances together, and I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but we had a ton of challenges. And sometimes I would end up mad at the end of our budget meetings. We do our budget every month. At the end of the month, we would set our budget for, so like say it's March now, we would set it, or I'm sorry, it's April now. We would set it for say May. Um, and at the end of the budget meeting, we will be tight because she spent her money one way, I spent my money another way. And at the end of the day, like we had our goals. Our goals were to, obviously to be debt free. I talk about it all the time, to be debt free and to be able to build wealth. So that was the goal. But because of the comfortability of being able to just do our finances separately at one time, you're doing something new together and you have the tendency to want to go back to that thing that you were most comfortable with, which was the thing that wasn't right. We should be together. So there'll be so many times where we would be like, all right, forget it. We're just gonna go back to the old way. But I thank God that we didn't do that because we were able to stick to something. We were able to stick to um, doing our budget together, sticking to the budget, um, combining our finances, and we were able to, pay for things with cash, pay for cars cash, do home projects that we wanted to get done cash, and we're able to lower our expenses, which, in my opinion, is one of the ways to build wealth. You lower your expenses, excuse me, you increase your income, and then you invest. Again, it's simple math, but I think people have the idea that it's harder than it is. So if you guys are going through the same thing, I would just want to stop by and encourage you to combine your finances because, again, you guys are married, you're together, you should be working together. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy because it wasn't easy for us. I don't think we really got into a groove for a few years after we were doing our finances together. But because we were able to put our finances together, we were able to pay for those things cash. But then also, the bigger picture is that we were able to show our son, and we're showing our son now how we work together financially, and then also how, because we were able to put our stuff together and work towards a common goal, which is to eventually be debt free, is we were able to uh, put money away for him to go to school, which is not something I ever thought I would do just because that's not what I saw growing up. Again, not blaming anybody, but that's the reality that my parents were in at the time. They were doing the best that they could, and I think that they did a daggone good job. Um, but our job as the kids of those parents is to take a few steps up, and then my hope is that my son will take it a few steps up, and then his kids will take it even further than he's going to take it. So, again, what I wanted to say to you guys is just make sure that if you guys are married, I implore you, please make sure that you are combining your finances. If you need to, lean on people. I was able to lean on people in my church, Lamar Waples, um, Milton Reeves. I talked to those two, Milton Reeves Senior, by the way, and they were able to help me when I didn't know, when I had the idea in my head. I didn't really know what to do. I knew I budgeted all the time. My wife budgeted a certain way, but I'm like, okay, well, I went to those two and I was like, well, how do you guys do it? And how long have you been doing it? And how do you structure it and things of that nature? So, what I would say is if you don't know how to do it and you may think it's a good idea to do it, lean on people that you know that can help point you in the right direction. And it's okay to ask for help, but it's not okay to know that you need help and do nothing about it, because the fear of moving forward with that can eventually cost you. Um, and not just cost you now, but it'll cost you later, because again, your kids, um, you want your kids to take it another step up. But if your kids are going to possibly be repeating the same things that you're doing now, even though you know that that thing is not good that you're doing, okay? Um, Budgeting is very, very important. I talk about it all the time, and a lot of my friends, they kind of make fun of me or whatever. It's fine, and laugh, and it's all jokes, it's all love, but budgeting is very, very important. And I think another um, fear that we have is we're on Instagram, we're seeing people, quote unquote, make it. They have a lot of money, and that may not even be the case. You don't really know how they're living, to be honest with you. But I think we have this thing in our heads that I need to make more money. I need to make more money. But if you're not necessarily handling the money properly, then if you make more money, all you're going to do is spend more money. I mentioned it earlier that building wealth is simple math. You lower your expenses, you increase your income, you invest the money. Again, it's that simple. But I think we make it harder than it needs to be. So if that's you, I would sit down and make a budget. If you're not currently like making a budget where you're actually sticking to something, and to the point where you're saying no, I can't afford that because that's not in my budget, then you need to set up a budget. We use the Every Dollar app through Dave Ramsey. I also do budgeting classes as well. So if you ever don't know what to do, you can always reach out to me and hit me up, man. Again, if you don't know how to do something, ask for help. It's that simple. We gotta start asking for help, because um, our kids are dependent on us. Other people who are watching us, who you may not know are watching you, are dependent on you. Um, so it's time to start making the right moves out here. So and the reason I'm saying this is because I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and they were telling me like, yeah, man, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. But I don't think, and I didn't ask them, but based on what they were telling me, I don't think that they had a budget set up. And I think before you make the determination that I need more money, what are you doing with the money that you have now? Um, do you have a high car payment? Are you going out to eat a lot? Are you, um, you know, going out with your friends? Are you not saying no to things that you know you should be saying no to? Only you can answer that. But what I would tell you is before you think to yourself, "Oh, I need more money," see what you're spending your money on now and reduce your expenses. And the way that you're going to be able to do that is you have to set up a budget. You have to, if you want things to change anyway. If you don't, keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. But I would highly recommend you setting up your budget so you can start living the life that you want to live. And that's all what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to encourage people. First of all, telling you what we went through, my wife and I, what we went through, what we're going through in our family, and then hopefully that will help you get through whatever situation you're going through right now. That's all we're trying to do. So if you need help with your budget and you don't have a friend or family member who knows how to set it up for you, I do budget classes all the time. Just hit me up and we'll set it up. Again, y'all, it's time to do something with this information. Don't sit on the sidelines watching other people live their lives. It's time for you to start living. It's time for you to get the information. It's time for you to start executing and starting to live, showing your kids how to live, showing your nieces and nephews how to live, showing those family members who don't really know how to do what you're doing how to live. It's up to us. If you have the information, it's up to us. It's go time. Let's go. So y'all see me looking fresh, man. I know y'all see it. I know y'all see it. So today I'm going to be talking about my little brother. I told y'all I was going to be, highlighting different entrepreneurs, people out here getting it out here, and he's one of them. He's a traveling barber. He's getting to it out here, and I'm just so happy for him. I've been talking to him for years about, growing his business, and that's what he's doing. So he's out here. He's a traveling barber, like I said, tri-state area: Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, a little bit of Maryland, depending on where in Maryland it is. And he's gonna come to your house. He's gonna provide excellent customer service. I'm putting his information below, so make sure y'all hit him up if y'all need a barber. If you guys are in between barbers right now, hit him up, man. He's gonna provide excellent customer service. He's gonna get in there, get out, cut you and your kids' hair. He's gonna take good care of you. He's been taking care of me for years now, so I appreciate him, and I'm sure you will also. Let's go.